don't care who don't stay if it steals my peace away. I don't care.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tazz podcast, and I am your co-host, Nini. Hi, Tazz.
Hi, Nini. Oh, this is not Nay's day. This is not Nay's day at all.
You had a password. Okay. So what? Copyrights, okay?
Hi, Nini.
Hi, Tazz. So.
Are we ready to go now?
Yes, I'm ready. My bad, fam. My bad.
I hope you guys get to see what just happened in a blooper reel or something.
What happened?
It took you 20 minutes to say the intro.
Yeah, it did. No, I didn't. It was just like 2 takes and that's it.
If you include washing your hands 17 times.
Okay. Okay, yeah, okay, my bad. So, this special episode, it is special because
it's about you?
No. Well, technically, yes, because it is about me. It's about everybody, okay? But we're actually going to...
She thinks she's the whole world, guys.
I am the co-host, okay? Chill. We're going to get into a fight right now, okay?
Oh, that's what you got for making fun of me last week.
I was not making fun of you.
You were mocking me.
Yeah, I always mock you. Hello. But we're going to talk about my first MMA fight.
And we're going to watch it in the background.
Yes.
We don't know the technicalities of you guys watching it at the same time as we are. So just go back and watch it if we can't make it happen. And if you're listening to it on Spotify, you're definitely going to have to go online and watch it. But am I going to play? Or do I start it and then you just start? Are we just going to toss it up? Or what are we doing? We didn't plan this part out, guys.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, I think we should briefly talk about what happened during the time that I was going to fight for the first time.
Okay.
Just so people know what's going on, right? Why even care, right? Why even talk about my fight?
Yeah. Why? You know what? Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you.
Tazz. No, so for those that don't know, this is a very special week for us and here at the Academy for our fighters, okay? I mean, like here, we're part of Warrior Evolution MMA Tazz.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, the Academy looks different.
I have been an a-hole right now. But it is fight week, so it's a very big week. And this kind of inspired the episode because during the time that I fought for the first time, it was what, 2
Let's
years
see.
after?
Hold on. Time out. Let's do a quick pop quiz here.
Okay.
If Nene doesn't get this right, she has to do 10 burpees right here in the middle of the podcast.
You're going to make me do 10 burpees, Tazz?
What was the date of your first fight?
The date of my first fight?
Month, day, and time.
You're
year.
something else. Okay. I'm going to say, I know it's definitely 2017.
Because I told you that at the beginning, but okay.
Wasn't it in September?
It was September.
Okay. September. Hold on. September 17?
Oh, you were way off.
No? Dang.
No, that sounds like burpees right there. You ask me.
I'll do my burpees after this. All right. When was it?
That's what. It's either September 1st or September 2nd.
Oh, yeah. So you don't even know. So why are you quizzing me when you don't know? Look, guys.
I thought I knew
maybe you get the burpees. Maybe you get the burpees and push-ups.
I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Or maybe, no, because Fight Card used to have their shows on Sundays, I think.
Yeah.
Does this thing tell me?
I don't know, but I think you deserve the burpees, right? Yes. See? Everybody agrees
because that was
with me.
closer. You said September 17th. I know for a fact
you
it wasn't.
You quizzed me on something that you don't know.
It was either September 1st or September 2nd.
Okay, guy.
You
very similar.
Let's go Tapology. We're going to figure this out. You guys, listen, distract everybody.
Well, okay. It was my second year in MMA. And I think I had already earned my blue belt. Which, for those
September 1st.
September 1st. Okay. At least it was September 1st. But it was during the time and after my blue belt. You know what is crazy? Now that I think about it, during the time when we're all testing for our next belt, our bodies are so conditioned to set a goal for ourselves, which is going to be that belt itself. So I was training for the belt test while at the same time was going to do was doing the training camp, right? For the fight. There was a lot of things going on during the time of my first fight behind the scenes, especially with Warrior Evolution.
Warrior Evolution didn't exist.
It didn't, right? So I fought under what? Hit to Fit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, let's give people a brief background of during the time of my first fight.
So your first fight was actually scheduled for May of 2017. But we had a falling out with Victory, and we didn't know what was going on still at the time.
Yeah.
So Anthony and I made the decision that you were going to have to wait to fight.
Yeah.
Because of everything that was going on. We were just uncertain what was going on. And that whole summer, we still had no idea what was going on. We were kind of just going through the motions, trying to figure out what's happening and what's going to happen and what our future looked like. And we were getting no clarity. We rescheduled your fight for September. And it wasn't until that week that we got the okay. Because Anthony had called me a week prior to your fight. And he's like, I still don't know what's going on. But all I know is that NAYNAY can't fight for Victory because we're not going to be Victory for much longer.
Yeah.
So, he said, he's like, go independent, go Tazz MMA, whatever you want to do right now. But just, don't put Victory's name on it. And I was like, okay. So now this is even a little bit weirder for me. But it was, if your fight was September 1st, your weigh-ins were the 31st. On the 30th is when we got the clearance. Okay, you guys are officially no longer Victory Martial Arts. And Anthony had already started a Hit to Fit location in Westmont. So it was literally a day before the weigh-ins, a day before we had to, tell everybody what gym you were coming out as, that we were able to confidently say, all right, now we're not Victory, we're Hit to Fit. No one liked the idea of having the fighters come out to a name Hit to Fit, so we did Hit MMA. And that was you were the first fighter for Hit MMA, and you were the second fighter that I cornered.
Your first fighter was Omar, right?
Yeah. And then I had
you were super nervous.
I had cornered another fighter, but that was Anthony took lead, and I was just Anthony's backup.
Yeah.
But you were the second fighter that I cornered.
Yeah. I don't know why you let me fight, dude.
I don't know why people let me coach back then.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was a lot of growth, right? An opportunity for growth. But I remember during the time that I was just so inspired by everybody, as in the gym, the environment. And during the time where we were training with Victory, like there was a lot of fighters, right? So me being like one of the girls, and there were like what, 3 other girls or 2 girls? Like there was not a lot of women. And even now, there's not a lot of women in the gym, right? Training with us, especially with the fighters and the sparring. But during the time, I was very inspired by your private lesson. So Omar and Vanessa. So they were your first private lessons, right? So I was so inspired because I was like, damn, like there's a badass woman training MMA. And on top of that, she was training for a fight too.
She was supposed to fight with the same night Omar fought.
You see, so I was like super inspired. I'm like, let me do it too. And then of course my sister was already training MMA, so I was super inspired. And then we started watching fights, and that's when I saw Ronda Rousey. And then eventually I started working on my arm bars. But no, like I felt like I wanted to do something with the sport beyond just training, right? I wanted to get in competition mode, and that's where I began to take it more seriously. Even though I hated it in the beginnings. And that's one thing that maybe not a lot of people know, is that I enjoy the sport now because of its essence. And yeah, it's been 10 years now, but I didn't always want to train. I didn't always like training all the time because I was getting beat up by the guys, and everyone's bigger than me for the most part, and during the time where I was 25 pounds, 130 pounds.
Yeah, this fight was at 125.
Yeah, 125. I dropped a lot of weight. So it's as a girl, right? Being young in the sport, being young in age, that was 10 years ago, and starting something that was not really too popular because Ronda Rousey was just making the sport very mainstream. At the same time, you don't see a lot of women fight. So I don't know, like what was your perspective back then when I started fighting or when I started training and you had Vanessa during the time?
One of my goals was I wanted to train the fighter that was going to beat Ronda Rousey. You know, so I was always kind of on that boat where it was like, I'm going to treat the women just like I treat the men, you know, and Vanessa kind of being the first female that actually showed interest in wanting to fight. That, you know, one of my biggest what ifs in my career is what would it have been if she found an opponent? Because, you know, like Nene was saying, like back then it was really hard to find female fighters, and Vanessa would have fought at 145, and at the time that was nearly impossible to find. You know, so she never got to fight. You know, so with everything that was going on with Victory, me being a new coach, there was a lot riding on this fight, you know, and I remember because this event, Zach was supposed to fight on the same card.
Yeah.
But he had
another one that inspired me a lot. Yeah.
He had a family emergency that prevented him from competing that night. But he told me when in the middle of that camp, because obviously you guys went through the camp together.
Yeah.
He told me she throws her cross just like you. And that added even more pressure because it was like, okay, so what you're saying, he said that as a compliment.
Yeah.
But the way that my brain and my anxiety works, all I heard was, if she loses, it's your fault.
Damn.
You know, so that's how my brain worked. You know, so there was a lot of pressure because of the stuff that was going on outside. You know, we had the falling out with Victory. Now we're not Victory. You know, and just kind of the weeks leading up to this fight, not knowing what was going on, and then Anthony telling me, is like, okay, we're gonna open up our own business together. And then I want to say, let's see, it was less than a week after this fight was over. Anthony calls me and he says, tell me how much of the business you want. He's like, but I want you to take majority. I was like, 70%. He said, deal. You know, so now it's like, we just went through this fight and now I got to go learn how to be a business owner now. You know, so all that stuff was going on in the back of my head even before this fight kind of started.
Yeah, and I think for me, I was trying not to focus too much on what was going on with you because there's a lot of, and again, the fighters may relate a little bit more. There's that fighter coach connection. And whenever, as this is a perspective from the competitor and the fighter, whenever we see our coach nervous or doubtful or something like that, that could potentially translate into our feelings, or we might feel a little bit nervous. So like, I didn't want to put that into my head, but I also kind of fueled me because I was like, damn, like I really want to win.
Yeah.
I really want to prove myself and everybody that believed in me that I could do it. And I did have some doubters, and it comes from, again, related to family related doubters. And that's the reason why it was so hard for me to even get to the fight and go through the training camp. But even then, like I've never been a quitter. I've never been the type of person that you put a challenge and I'll just not do it. I always find every challenge an opportunity for me to grow. But during the time, it was very difficult because we were going through that with the academy, and now we're gonna be representing Hit MMA, and it's like, damn, like, am I really gonna do this? And what gym am I representing? But even throughout all of those things that were happening behind the scenes, I still stayed focused, and I never lost like the loyalty for you as my coach and just representing the gym.
Yeah.
So if you want to start the fight, we can take a quick look so everybody can see.
Take a quick look. You guys aren't going to see what we're seeing.
Well,
I don't know how the volume is. I can't hear things from the headphones.
Yeah. I think I was the underdog. I think I was.
Because your opponent had already fought before.
Oh, yeah.
This was my inexperience as a coach. I was putting fighters in against people with experience.
Yeah, the girl that fought, she finished. Well, the girl that I fought, she had fought prior to me, and she finished her opponent in like the first round, right? Via TK or something. I did remember seeing that. Like, she was throwing a lot of punches, and I think she dropped the girl, and then I finished her with like a TKO or something. So I'm like, damn. So I'm literally going against someone that's gonna throw hands. I was super freaking nervous, dude. I was just like, damn. I look like a midget, by the way.
Who that boy?
I do look like a midget.
You have to do your little bow.
Yeah. Okay, the bow comes from the respect, right? So we come into the mats and we bow because of respect.
I haven't watched this fight in forever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I move so funny, dude. I was like a freaking...
Oh, you gave me a heart attack right away.
Dude, she freaking grabbed me. She grabbed my neck and it's like she wanted to... Yeah. Like, not even a clean takedown. And then I kind of reversed it and...
So, because I freaked out so much, I started like, you gotta get up, blah, blah, blah. And Carla was in the corner too. And Carla's job was to make... Because Nene doesn't respond well to getting yelled at. So Carla's job was to make sure that I stopped yelling. So I stopped yelling and Carla's like, talk to her. Don't yell at her. I was like, Nene, please get up.
So...
But she got up. She got her up against the fence now.
Yeah. Hey, for those that know, like I did the Marine Corps ROTC when I was in high school, so I got yelled at all the freaking time. And so when you started yelling at me in MMA, I didn't take that very lightly. I thought you were always mad at me. So when I was in the fight,
Mac would be flipping his shit right now.
Yeah,
where
he
your
would.
arm is just draped over her head.
Yeah,
instead of getting that overhook.
That wizard. I didn't have any wizard, but I was still striking, surprisingly. So she was trying to go for like a standing guillotine, and that didn't work out for her. And then
she takes you down again, and Tazz is instantly going into heart attack mode.
Yeah. See, but I got up right away. Or scrambled, actually.
Snady?
I gave my back. Damn. And she's just putting her weight on me without putting her hooks in.
I'm yelling again. I can see
now
myself.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I think this is pretty much what she did in her first fight.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, she was just trying to choke me, but she didn't have it all the way.
Well, it looked like she's just holding on for dear life there.
Yeah. When then I reversed it and
Yeah, I don't remember what was going on through my head at this point.
And then in half mount.
Oh, right there, I was definitely telling you to mount because it was open for a second, and that's probably when she closed it.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing that I dislike, about the fights, because the opponents hear the coaches all the time. So it's like, unless you have some sort of a code word or things that the other opponent wouldn't recognize.
There's the mount.
Yeah.
30 seconds left, and this is where I don't know what the announcers heard NAYNAY'S nickname to be, but for whatever reason they thought it was nasty. And so we get the famous line, "Here comes some of that nasty ground and pound."
That was pretty good, right?
Because that was actually pretty good ground and pound.
Thank you. That's a really nice ground and pound.
And I think that
I was hitting her right in the freaking face, dude.
I think that's what solidified the first round, because she got the 2 takedowns, but you ended with controlling ground and pound.
Yeah. I remember her face. She looked at me when she was scared.
And then I remember right now you tell me I lost my contact lens.
Bro.
And the thing is, right before, she had given me extra contact lens, so I had contacts in my pocket, and she's telling me I lost my contact. And it was such a throwback for me, because in my first fight, I lost my contact lens.
But what did you tell me?
And I told Anthony, that's where I'm going. Anthony told me, we can't worry about that right now. So when Nene comes back after the first round, says I lost my contact, I was like, we can't worry about that right now. That was for Anthony. And I did not put a contact lens in her eye.
So I was fighting without one eye.
I did it. But yeah.
There I go again.
Other than that, I don't remember what else I told you.
I don't remember. I don't remember what you said during the fight.
I just remember the contact because it was just a good callback. And she came out with her zombie stance.
Bro, anybody that extends their hands now, it pisses me off so much, and I just go for those overhands. Everybody knows that.
Came out swinging.
Yeah, she wanted to go for the knockout, guys. I did catch her with a nice overhand. Okay, I got the underhook, but then...
Oh, this is the other thing the announcer pissed me off on.
What was he saying?
He was complaining about...
Cage.
Yeah. He doesn't understand why you don't just immediately go for 2 underhooks when you're against the fence. I was like, because you can't strike.
She was grabbing onto the fence, by the way. I just saw her hands hook on the fence.
I think both of you were doing it.
I don't think I was doing it intentionally.
But
I was trying to block those knees because she tried to do some knees. But look at how she's just holding me.
Yeah.
I could have just basically, thank you, ref, separated us.
You don't see that too much anymore.
No, they just let you.
And that referee's still going. We still see him all the time.
So she was gassed.
See, watching this now, I could have been such a better coach back then because I was not picking up on her exhaustion.
Yeah. Oy. I think she, look, every time that I came out swinging too, she just held me.
Yeah.
From like her neck, like she was trying to do some sort of like head choke or something.
No, I think she just didn't know what she was doing and just wanted the punches to stop.
And then I was mean, oh, you might have said something about knees though.
I wish I could remember. This was 9 years ago, guys. I barely remember 9 days ago.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I recognize her coach too. I think he has a gym now.
The coach?
Yeah, that guy. I feel like I still see him.
Oh, thank you, ref. Yeah, the ref separated us again. Hey, it's not like I wasn't active. Like, I understand where they would want the fight to go to, whether it's like on the ground or like a lot of punches. Ay. Ay, ay, ay.
You're so dramatic when you get punched.
Jeez. It was 2 years in MMA and I'm getting punched that hard. What do you expect, guy?
That just snapped straight back.
Yeah.
You know, but...
Yeah. I was trying to...
That's where the announcers complain about the single underhook and...
Yeah. No, I get it. Again, right? When you're fighting in there, a lot of things are exposed.
No, but that's the problem. I had a problem because that's like a legit position. Like when you watch any Randy Couture fight, Randy Couture used to do that. He's got the
underhook.
He used to do that all the time. And that's where I got it from.
She doesn't do any of that. See, and I keep hitting her on her stomach. Because even if she had, like, quote unquote, more control, she didn't really have any control, actually. That was me doing more cage control than she did. But I was more active with the strikes on the stomach and the knees on her legs. So I can see why.
Your face, why do you look like that?
Because I'm tired, bro. Like, do you guys understand the amount of adrenaline your body goes through when you're in a fight? You're activating all your your nerves, and your central nervous system is super activated.
So I actually remember what I told you for this one. Do you remember?
No.
Of course you didn't.
What did you tell me?
I told you got one more round. Don't let her take this away from you. But throughout the camp, you and I would have so many conversations about the old you and the new you. And you told me after this fight that when I said that to you, you took that as don't let the old you take this away from you. Because you would always have that self-doubt throughout the training camp. And you would always, because when we were training, I would either always put you against the fence or put you on the ground and, okay, round's not over until you get up. And there were days where you just broke down in tears and tried to quit. We talked about the old you versus the new you. There's some dirty boxing.
Both of us.
On both sides. But when I said, don't let her take this away from you, you took that as the old you taking the win away from you.
Damn.
She just fucking...
Just dragged me. But I got up right away. And I think that's That's the thing, no? When fighting, like even if someone tries to take you down, but you get up right away, do they still count it?
I mean,
Like there was no control.
There's no like point system like that, so it's just whatever the.
I kept catching her with the uppercuts though.
In amateur wrestling, that wouldn't have counted as a takedown.
See, I was still very active with the strikes. Damn. Ay.
Just that a more.
Ay, that wizard girl, where is that at?
Mac.
Well, now I know. See, that's why practice and time and experience in the sport. That's where you learn about proper technique placement, especially when in a fight. I was still very active, though. I see it. Ay. She was gassed, dude. She was tired. And I was still moving. I think that's what gave me the more of a, ooh, I was moving my head. Okay. She was just trying to push forward. Like, I just know that she didn't know what to do. And I was still striking her a lot, though.
Tired and wanted to hold you.
Yeah. This whole time I was kneeing her and then doing uppercuts, which that actually does help. Ooh. Oh my goodness, we're both going at it.
Yeah. And did I wrap your hand? I didn't wrap your hands for this one. Ralph still wrapped your hand because your hand wrap is falling off. I think that was the first time Ralph wrapped anybody's hands.
Yeah.
So he was freaking out when he saw that your wrap was falling apart.
Yeah, I think I could have taken her down there, but I was not.
You're just hanging on her head.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I couldn't even slide my.
I mean, she looks like she was strong as fuck.
Yeah. She was pretty strong. She tried her best to take me down, dude. Oh, there she is.
Like that?
She took me down. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'll give it to her. That's a takedown right there.
And that, again, put me into a pure panic mode. Because it's like, when I'm coaching and cornering, I'm not necessarily scoring the fight. So yeah. I'm literally trying to be in the present. So when I'm in round one, I'm in round one. And then when I'm prepping for round two in between, I'm prepping for round two. I'm not thinking of what happened in round one. And then in round two, I'm just focused on round two, not even thinking about round one. So
she couldn't get anything on the ground and pound, by the way.
So when this round finally ended, and before I got in the cage, Carla asked, "Do you think she got it?" And I was like, "I don't know." Mm-hmm. You know, because what sticks out for me is obviously with the way that my brain works is always the bad things first.
Yeah.
You know, so you got taken down twice in the first, once in the third. I was like, mm-hmm. You know, I don't know how especially with judging, you never know how the judges are gonna see things. Look at the UFC fights this weekend.
Yeah.
Hazmat gets so many takedowns and so much ground control, and Strickland lands basically more jabs.
And he won.
And the judges gave it to him. I'm pretty sure those guys have a gym now.
Yeah. No, I think I can see it from the coach's standpoint. I was more active than her. She was just holding on to me, but I was throwing those uppercuts a lot more and those knees. Like, I never stopped. And I can see why the first round, like, I finished on top. Second one, I think I won the second round. The third one, I think I lost it. That's for sure.
I have it round 1 and 2.
Yeah. Everyone was cheering for me. That's one thing that we all appreciate when we get into the cage, when everyone is there to support. I love that. I just heard my name super loud and I was like, oh my God, everyone's cheering for me.
Because they scored at a split decision, which I thought was a little questionable.
Yeah. But like I said, I think they counted that takedown at the very end, but she didn't do anything with that takedown. Like, she just held me there and she couldn't even get a strike. So I don't know. Or any punch through, I guess. I did have a good feeling about it, though. Even though it didn't end the way that I would want it to, like in a dominant fashion. But I know I tried my best.
You're so dramatic.
Who's dramatic?
How long it takes to read off the winner.
Yeah, that was a big deal. There goes my wretched self.
You and your dances.
No, but yeah, during the time that everything was going on, I was going through a lot mentally. And the self-doubt came in from not knowing whether or not I was good enough for the sport and if I was going to win, because yes, I felt like I was the underdog and I felt like I didn't have the support system that I needed at the time. Not from you, but I mean from like my own family, right? And now I just look back and I can think about all the opportunities that I had to quit, especially because like what was the purpose of me fighting in the first place, right? Because we come into the gym and we all have a purpose, but I didn't have mine. I didn't know why I was doing the sport in the first place. I just knew that I needed to get away.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started the fighting, that's where I found myself with a little bit of more purpose and found myself alive a little bit more. And even with the self-doubt, I was still questioning, like, am I even good enough to do the sport? Like, is it even worth it, right? And so when you say stuff that you go through whether you're running the business or when you started the sport or when you went through your first fight, like, I can relate because I was going through similar things. I don't know how many times I could tell you, like, I've had to cry in the gym because I just was emotionally exhausted. And I think a lot of our students are going through that, that they have a lot of things going on at home and they just don't talk about it. And so when we're sparring, the emotions come out.
Yeah.
And you know what? The other day I was just thinking, whenever there was remember that 25-minute round you did with Rolf? Yeah, he did a 25-minute sparring session.
I remember doing that round, and I don't remember anything of the round or the next day.
They were going hard, right? And all I saw
For those that don't know who Ralph is, at that time, Ralph was 265 pounds. My height.
So imagine getting punched by that. And Tazz, how many pounds were you? Like 145?
No. I was still in my 130s.
Oh my God. So you're sparring against, again, a heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
And you guys went at it for 25 minutes.
Well, at that time, he might have been down to 235.
235.
We'll give him the benefit. That's still a 100-pound weight difference, but
you can tell me if I'm wrong. Didn't it happen to you where sometimes the feelings will come out? Because you used to smirk every time he used to hit you hard.
That was my ego.
But you see, like ego, the feelings used to come out, and you just went hard, and he went hard, and he was like
because neither of us wanted to stop. Because that round started, it was supposed to just be, hey, you just want to move around for a little bit. Because we were both teaching, so we kind of wanted just to move around a little bit. So we were going to just touch spar. But then one punch gets away. I forgot who threw the first hard punch. He was slightly more emotional than I was. So I would say that maybe he took one of my punches the wrong way. And then it just escalated. And because it was supposed to just be a touch spar, kind of move around type of thing, we didn't set a timer or anything. And so at that point, once it escalated into, we went from touch sparring to full sparring to just, okay, you're going to hit me. I'm not going to go down. I'm going to hit you. You're not going to go down. And we're just going to trade off 1 for 1 because neither of us wanted to be the one that said, okay, that's enough.
Yeah. So your egos, right? But then that's what I mean. Like, there's so many emotions that one can go through in a sparring session or in a fight. And sometimes we just don't talk about it. We just do it with fighting. And so I just know that during the time when everything was happening, like, I felt like I wasn't supposed to be a fighter. I wasn't supposed to do these things, but somehow or another, God put me in this place.
That was the same year I was supposed to have my last fight.
Yeah.
When you fought. I was supposed to fight that in March.
Really?
Of 2017. And that was supposed to be my last fight because before the falling out with Victory, we were talking of me opening up a Victory location. And I told them, and that was after, because I got my black belt December of 2016. And then Dion and Anthony are like, we want you to open up your own Victory location. I was like, well, if I'm going to do that, let me have one more fight. Because I wasn't supposed to just have one fight and be done, especially on a loss. I was like, let me fight again.
Yeah.
And then that's, the infamous story of the 3 guys dropping out leading up to fight night. And I didn't get to fight. And then that was supposed to be in March. And that was supposed to be a good, like, all right, I'm officially retired as a fighter. I put that side of me to bed, and I can focus on coaching because you were supposed to fight 2 months after.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a crazy time. I was in a toxic relationship, so during the time that everything was going on, I was not in a right mental space. So I felt like this fight was just what I needed to feel a little bit more confident. Even though now I know after all these years that a fight shouldn't be a way to gain your confidence, right? Because your confidence comes from you and what you do, and it's just the repetitions of basically doing who you say you are. And I never want to attach my confidence to a fight now. But during the time I needed to fight for me to feel like I was good enough. And when I won, it was just like, it was like a breath of fresh air, and I needed that. And sometimes when I look at fighters, right, and a lot of them are going through stuff, and again, because we're so used to seeing things from the surface, sometimes we don't take the time to look like deep into what they're going through. And I see it that now with our fighters, that a lot of them are going through something, and whether or not they talk about it, we just happen to find out during the fight camp or after the fight. And some of them really need a fight, so during this time, now looking back and looking at how I was fighting out of like pure survival, right? Because even though I wanted to win, I also didn't allow myself to quit. And that's what I mean when it comes to fighting, that it's a reflection of who you are. Because whether you're in the cage, nobody else is there to save you. So if you're going against someone that wants to knock your head out, there's no running from it. You just have to do it. And so I think this is where I'm just happy during the time that you also got to see that even when you were doubting yourself as a coach, I was able to kind of show people like, hey, you're a better coach than you think you are.
Yeah.
And now we have a lot more evidence to show proof that you are a good coach, that you train good fighters, and you have a good gym. And during the time we were too early into the process, you didn't think that, remember?
Yeah, no, definitely. Because even watching this fight, you can kind of see some of the style similarities between you and Leo. Just the way that you put your head under the chin against the fence and stuff. And that's something I think that that's what I was taught. When I was getting ready for my fights, and that was Mark. So I'm glad I went through that last training camp.
Yeah.
Before yours, because it was that training camp with Mark and Mac that really shaped me as a fighter. And I feel like, Anthony gave me the foundation for MMA. Mark and Mac helped bring out my style.
Yeah.
And you can see in the fight with the cage control, and trying to strike from there as opposed to just immediately trying to take her down. And then even in the middle when you ran the clinch and you had the dirty boxing and stuff, those are things that I always, worked on because I felt that's what came natural to me as a former wrestler, so you can see what's the word that I'm looking for?
Grit.
No. You can kind of see the foundation of what was to come, with Warrior Evolution and
ground and pound, nasty ground and pound.
Fun fact: one of the names when fun fact with a spoiler alert, hit MMA did not last very long. Because that fight was in 2017, and Warrior Evolution was born January 1st, 2019. So obviously we had already had the name and everything set up, and by the end of 2018, when we were looking for names for the new gym, before Warrior Evolution became the final sticking point, the strongest contender was Ground and Pound Incorporated. True story. So you're welcome, everybody.
Yeah. I still see the ground and pound, and I'm very happy that I did good ground and pound, because that's always been like a thing of mine. Like I look at people's ground and pound all the time and I'm like, no, you can work in that ground and pound. It's not the same. Like when you have solid ground and pound, you can really mix a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And knock people out. But no, I mean, I'm forever going to be appreciative of what you did, Mac did. I mean, and anyone that was sticking around during that time, because what I had that I don't think she had, I had too much grit. Like, I wasn't gonna quit just like that, and I wasn't gonna be scared. Like, I'm never scared. I'm never gonna say never, but I was not scared to feel her punches. Like, that was not my thing. Like, I've been punched hard, and you have punched me really hard. Yes, you have.
That's a lie.
Well, not to say it like that, but as when we were sparring, like, guys punch really hard. So especially when you have more weight behind you. And so because I got used to that, I'm like, what she did, it wasn't something that I was scared to do. And that's part of the reason why we train the way that we do. Because what we do in training, it does reflect on the fight. And maybe it doesn't look exactly how the training camps are, but there's a big chunk. Like, if you don't know how to control your mind and your body, then again, you're going to see it in the fight. Whether that's the grit, whether it's your emotions, whether it is if you're scared or not, like, everything is exposed in the fight. So I'm glad. I'm happy I went through it. It was an experience that I will never forget, and I will forever remember my first fight. But I'm happy that I went through it. I think for those that are looking to fight one day, I think it's worth going through it, but I also know that it's also worth going through the struggle in the process, and knowing that you have to put your whole heart, your soul, your tears, everything, your whole body into a fight camp. Because if you want a good result, you have to put in the proper work for it. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to get into a fight and then half-ass your training and then expect a win. Like, no, like, if you want to perform and you want to show people, like, hey, this is what I'm meant to do, this is what I trained for, like, you have to put in the work. So yeah, I think that was definitely fun. So thank you for showing that.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, we're gonna be showing a lot more episodes of highlighting our fighters, because there's a lot of really, really cool fights that we want to show from each one of our fighters. So stay tuned. Right, Tazz?
You're really gonna test my memory, because
what do you mean?
I have a hard time remembering stuff from specifics from fights, but
yeah,
watching them definitely helps. I definitely have, not to be biased or anything, but I do have some of my fights that are up there in favoritism, just because, every fighter that I've cornered has a story to it. How much detail I remember from the stories, but right now, like, when I started coaching, I never wanted to be the guy that said, I'm going to keep track of how many fights I've cornered and, what my record was. So I never wrote it down or anything like that. Because there was a part of the doubt in me said, you're not going to make it as a coach, so I never, because coaching wasn't necessarily part of my plans, I never really prepared for it. I never really had any expectations for it, whether that was a good thing or a bad thing, and maybe a little bit of both. Once Leo started fighting and Leo started winning, I was like, oh, maybe I should have kept track, So I try to, I haven't, if I pull out a pen and paper, I could probably write out how many fights I've cornered, but just off the top of my head and trying to map it out in my head, I couldn't do it. I don't know how many fights I've cornered.
That's fine.
But there's definitely some of them that are special to me for different reasons. Obviously this one, like I said, it was the first one for the gym that I would be majority owner of. Even though Omar was a private lesson, once Omar decided that he wanted to fight, he would come into the group classes with Anthony, and he even went to some practices with Dion, and Dion wrapped his hands too. So I thought that was pretty special. But you were like the first female fighter, and then for us and for me as a coach, and then hearing Zach say she throws her cross just like you, is like you were the first fighter that was like me all the way, because by the time you started training, Anthony had already stopped teaching so much, so you never got too much mat time with Anthony, so that added another sense of pressure, but also like, okay, this is me, and then We got Leo's first fight, which was the first fight for Warrior Evolution. Leo's first title fight. Leo's first title win. Chewy was like our first homegrown Warrior Evolution fighter, because Leo trained, Leo started with Anthony at Victory at the Midway location, so I kind of met him a little bit later. I was part of Midway at the time, but I did not consider myself his coach because I didn't like him at the time, but yeah, there's just so many good fights that we've seen, and not all of them went our way, but it doesn't change the fact that it became part of our history and who we are and part of our evolution, which is why all of them are special. And we're not planning on stopping the podcast anytime soon, so we'll probably get through all of them eventually. But yeah, it's fight week for us, and Jeremiah stepping in for the third time. Maybe we should have done a Jeremiah fight to get everyone hyped for Jeremiah. We failed on the timing of it. My bad. I didn't think of that until right now. But yeah, May 16th, Jeremiah is heading in there for the third time. So get your tickets if you haven't gotten your tickets. There's a lot of good stuff coming up, because then there's a catch wrestling event the week after. There's a Real American Freestyle watch party the week after. And for those that haven't been coming to class this week, or people that listen that aren't part of the gym, the good news that came out this week is we are moving yet again to our third suite in the building that we're in. But this is going to be the biggest one, literally the biggest one. We're doubling up in space, and we're looking to move within the next 4 weeks. So
excited.
As far as content goes, and as far as the podcast, we, before we sat to film this one, we kind of mapped things out to make sure that we still put time for the podcast. So
yes,
content's going to keep coming. Stay tuned to see all the fun things that we have and all the exciting updates that we have coming in the next few weeks, in the next month. You can follow along on social media. You can follow Naynay on all major social media platforms at Naynay_MMA. Subscribe to her YouTube and Patreon at Naynay MMA. You can follow me on all major social media platforms at Tazz MMA_fitness. Subscribe to my YouTube at Tazz Knows. I think that's all we got, right?
Yep.
Can't think of anything else right now, so we'll see. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you back next week.
Bye.